Hey, welcome to That Shiro Life podcast. I'm Burnett Sherman, your host and the creator of That Shiro Life, helping women show up as Shiros in their lives with more wellness, joy, and love. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us, meaning me and the guests who will be here momentarily. And thank you for being here. Today, I have a special guest. Her name is Pamela Stone. Why is this important? Because she is living that Shiro life, just like I want you to live that Shiro life. Let me tell you a little bit about Pamela. Pamela serves as the CEO of Vision Made Media, a company dedicated to empowering and impacting women worldwide. With a passion for helping others discover their true potential, Pamela's mission is to guide women on their journey to finding their what's next in life, despite the challenges they may face. I am so excited to have you here with me, Pamela, on That Shiro Life. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited.
Wonderful. We're going to have fun tonight.
Of course, always.
Yes, we are going to have fun tonight. So, Pamela, I just read a little bit about you, but I know there's more. So, just tell folks who are watching or listening to this who you are and what you are about. And then we're going to have more conversation.
Cool. Yeah, so I still work in the corporate world. I think it's important for everyone to understand because so many women have the perception that I am not working in the corporate world, and but I do. And I want women to understand that we can have whatever the desired life we want.
Mhm.
Though while we're working in the corporate world and we're working on everybody else's dreams and desires, sometimes we forget about ours. So that was why I created Vision Made Media, where I would go in and we empower women. We touch women in so many different facets, such as we have a Vision Made magazine, which is a live, we always call it a live vision board, which we can talk more about it. But I love vision boards. If I didn't have my green screen, I literally have 6 vision boards around my office. Not
Wow.
only I love me a vision board, they'll tell you I'm obsessed with it. And then not only I have a vision board, Vision Made magazine, then I have a talk show, and it's called Envision Me Talk Show. And I did that because I want women to know, though that you are where you at in life, whatever you're doing, know that you do have a vision for yourself, and know that there's other women out here who are in your shoes but are out here doing the things we're
Mm.
doing. So I bring them on. And then the last piece I have is a streaming channel. You know, some of us older or seasoned women, I'll say seasoned women, sometimes we like to look at the TV versus listening to the audio of our shows. So I've created a streaming channel, and it's all about empowering women on that side as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I just have to ask, with all of that going on and with you, because I really want to talk about how, you show up as a Shiro in your own life, but we all live full lives.
Absolutely.
We may have work that we do in the corporate world or in traditional work settings. We have families, we have other responsibilities, we have our passion projects, our interests. And you've just mentioned, you've got a corporate job, and then you've got these other projects that you're passionate about. How do you balance that?
Honestly, it's not me. I tell everybody, this is not me. This is all God. I don't feel stress. I don't feel that I don't worry about who is running the race with me. I don't worry about who's on the left or the right. It's all God. And so when you know your purpose and your passion, as I do, I really work on the time management, but it just comes so at ease that it's just it's just managing and everything like that. But in knowing that what your purpose and your passion inside and you're working on it, that really helps a lot. And it helps guide you through, okay, what am I going to be focused on? And how long am I going to give that much? And how long and how much attention I'm going to give it to? And so
Mhm.
knowing all those elements makes it so easy, I have to say.
Okay. Now, would you connect that back to having six vision boards and you put it out there?
Yeah, it does have it does have a lot to do with it. I have to say that. And each board represents a different project within each element of those faucets of business that's going on. So I'm always constantly I look at my vision boards every day. And I also have created me a list of SMART goals. What am I going to accomplish within the week? So everything has a placement, and it also has in my mind. I've already know, and I'm looking forward to okay, what I'm going to do. So again, it's all about time management and being focused on my time management skills. I'm down to everyone laughs at me. If I could show you my planner, it's crazy. Um, my planner is down to it's down by the day, by the day, by the hour, by the hour, by the minute. So I do that to yeah, I have to. And I
My eyes.
color. I see you. I see you. And I do it in each hour and each act or each job element that I'm doing has its own color. So knowing that when my mind sees it, it hones in and it's like, okay,
Hmm.
can we make this a little less stressful versus maybe something that isn't pink is my favorite color, as you can see. If it's pink, then it means it's going to need to draw some attention to it and I need to focus on it more. So I
Ah.
have to say the time management of that, how it works for my mind is how I keep everything balanced. Do I miss things? Absolutely. We're human beings. I don't beat myself up. I put it on. I know that it will go on to the next day, and then in the morning, I already know what I have to work on,
Hmm.
and I keep that focus in my mind.
So you stay organized. Did that high level of organization come from somewhere? Because I mean, I am not that organized. What was the impetus? What made you say, I have
No,
got to do this?
no. Trust me. When I first started on this journey, I was scattered, and we all are because we're trying to figure out. Okay, I can do this, 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 this. And then I was so stressed. I mean, where I was carrying the stress in my shoulders, which then led to me not wanting to do it. Then I had to really sit down and talk to myself like, okay, out of all of this, what is the one thing that you want to like and love to do? And I had to have that hard conversation with myself. And let me tell you, it was honesty. I had to have that honest, true
Mm.
conversation because before I did all of that, I was doing life coaching. Before I did all of that, I was doing everything, having declutter parties. And I was trying to say, and after a while, I'm like, I can't.
Can't
And
do
I
it
had,
alone.
right, but I had to be honest with myself. And I say that because I want women out there to know yes, we are the shero of it all, but we do have to create limitations. And it's okay. And not to be hard on ourselves because I was beating myself up like I don't understand why can't I do this all? And realizing I can't do it all. And truly the things that I were doing weren't my love passion at all.
Mm. And that's part of it. That's part of it too. I think understanding the things you're truly passionate about versus the things you think you're supposed to be doing,
Exactly.
and
Exactly. And
when you find that.
you will know when the things that you're doing, if they're stressing you out or if they're causing you tension or they're not bringing you joy, and understand that even though we're not doing it for the money, but if they're not even giving you some type of satisfaction, then already that's not for you. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. And but you have to be honest with yourself and knowing that because trust me,
Yes.
I had to have them long, hard conversations with myself, like, okay, girl, we got to let this go, or we will be, we will be not
Yes.
doing what we like.
Yes. That was
So,
my fall. I was just like, some things got
yeah,
to go. Some things have
so
to go.
true.
And when you
Absolutely.
do that, what happens is you have space then for the things that are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm there. I feel
Mhm.
that now I've gotten the groove of things. Now I can move on and make those three entities whatever he has in store for me, but make them what they to be.
So it sounds like for you, we all have a journey. There's the Shiro's journey, and you had the point where you were feeling the stress.
Yeah.
Was it at that point you were like, yeah, something's got to change?
Absolutely. And also too, I have to say, I had this one moment. I was sitting in my house and it was just me. and I have family, but I was in the house by myself. And I was just like, okay, I'm taking off the day. Well, I had this poke. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just a twitch in my back from all the stress that I'm carrying. Okay, I hear you. And then I had the voice said, listen, you got one life to live. So we're gonna make this work, and we're gonna make this the way where it's to be, and everything's gonna be okay.
And you listened
I did.
and you
It was a hard listen, but yes, I did.
I think people need to hear what you just said. It was a hard listen
It was very hard.
because
I because I didn't think about, truthfully, the first time it happened, it was just like, like a little, and I was like, oh, that's just my muscles. And then I had a big poke, and the voice was in my ear, like, listen up. Now we're not, we got one life, so we're gonna make this together. And I think, but it was a very hard listen. And be honest, again, though, it had to be honesty. I
Mhm.
can't, I was doing everything, thinking I could do everything, though I didn't even like what I was doing. So,
And
yeah.
I think that that's so important for other women to hear, I think, is we feel sometimes a sense of obligation to all of these external things that we feel like we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And then when we finally take a moment to listen to that divine voice, spirit, God, whatever you call it, then sometimes that hard listen,
Yeah.
we're like, oh, let me be real with myself. Let me
Right,
be
right,
real and honest. Then you get a
right.
different perspective.
True,
Yeah.
true. And then also too, let's be honest, as we hear that divine voice, we also have to share it. You share that with the right tribe. I'm always
Mhm.
talking about who is your tribe, and sharing it with that tribe, because not only do you have that divine voice, or God, or
Mhm.
whoever, but your tribe are there to help move it and help talk about it and say, okay, now, do you need help? And be there for you and hold you accountable. So that's also the other piece of it as well.
That is, and it's funny you mentioned that because on the hero's journey, after you say yes to the call, the next thing is you find the helpers. You get a
Mhm.
team. And if you see any decent movie, that's when the people assemble and they find a
Yeah.
mentor or their Yoda or there's somebody, who's traveling on this road with them because we're not supposed to do it alone.
No, we're not. But also to understand, I think we need to also stress, not everybody's to be on this journey or at this I call it a table. Not everybody's to be at your table, because not everybody can serve you the way you want to be served, because guess what? Some people come to your table with their own intentions, and then that deviates you from what you're supposed to be doing. How I know I am guilty as charged, because I'm a formal people pleaser. But you learn that once you start paying attention, and I have to constantly and consistently paying attention of who's sitting at this table. Are they really for me? Are they really helping me get to where I need to get to? And if not, this was where it was really my other part that was hard, was knowing that I had to let them go, and they did
Mm.
not serve. That was the really hard pill for me to swallow. I promise you, it was so hard for me to, because I wanted everybody to be around me, and I know everybody's going to cheer me on. But then I realized not everybody was cheering me on, and my feelings was hurt, and I was getting mad, and then the tension in my shoulders was getting even tighter than it was before. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, but yeah, I can't. So yeah,
So you had to let go. You had to
I
let go.
did. Yes.
It's interesting because I've heard that before, and I think right now we're in the season of people realizing that not everybody's meant to go on your journey with you.
Hmm.
And that's fine because everyone is on their own journey anyway.
True.
And maybe their journey is simply different. And they may be asking the same questions of, am I meant to serve them on their journey? And
Exactly.
it may be no, they may think I am. I don't know. But it's interesting because I think there's a dynamic. How do you how do you serve others and still ensure that you're not being, I want to say, overused or taken advantage of? Because we have servant hearts,
Hmm.
and it is part of us to serve.
Yes.
but there's always this give and take. And so while we may not say, what is it, what's in it for me, you
Right.
can't simply serve without having something fed back in.
That is so true. And also too, we have to learn boundaries. Now, at this point in age in my life, I thought, oh, I know boundaries. That's a lie. I didn't just really learned what boundaries are and started really using them, because if you don't create the boundaries, that's another way you can get burnt out, or you lose focus on what you're supposed to be working on. So I think also too, that's understanding that we have to create boundaries. And what are the boundaries? And understanding they come with rules, and not,
Mm.
and those that fall out of that side of the boundary, again, that's another way of weeding those people out that are not meant for your journey.
Right, right. I think you are absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And part of that, that's discernment that we have to practice.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's
It
so
is.
hard.
It
It's
is.
still hard to me every day. I'm like, okay, who I'm gonna let them come, who am I gonna allow to come sit in my space? And I am always constantly and consistently thinking about, okay, I only have room for two. Today may be two, tomorrow may be three, but who are the two going to be today, and how are we going to serve? And also, too, as I set boundaries, I expect them to set boundaries for me too. Because let's be honest, we sometimes can get comfortable and thinking, okay, well, let me see. Sometimes we get comfortable,
Mhm.
but knowing that if you have that amazing tribe, that they create the boundaries, and the boundaries and you respect them, is another piece as well.
I think that's an important thing wherever there's a mutual understanding
Absolutely.
where, we know how we move together
Right.
and there's
And I think
expectation.
we need that. We
Mhm.
as women need, especially like you said, we have that heart carrying heart, that nurturing heart, that sometimes that one moment they can be pulling at that string, pulling at that heartstring, and then you're like, and then all of a sudden it's just a snowball effect.
Right, right. Let me ask you something because I know you're already doing the corporate, you're doing the vision work, and you're also a parent.
Yes.
Did you balance all of this while raising children, or was it okay?
I did. Before I got to this point, I was out there figuring out my journey, right? And so I started out doing music management. I did that for about 3 or 4 years. I was managing local artists here in Columbus, and we would be traveling around the Columbus area. There was sometimes they would get some different. Excuse me, or they would land some different performances outside of the area. So I did that for 3 years, and then I'm like, okay, that was really, I promise you, I thought women were catty. I disagree. I may, and actually, all of the gyros I had literally was managing probably altogether probably 12, and they were all male, no female at all. And I thought, man, okay, I need some female up in here because these men were catty. I mean, catty. I was never thought I would see it.
Wow,
And
that's
so,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, I can honestly say I literally sat in that arena, but which that really burnt me out from that point. And then I took a moment. It was again God, because I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna just go ahead and work in corporate because obviously that was not for me. And so then, as I'm still raising my daughter, I then have a still do have an event planning company with my girlfriend. We teamed up and did that. So we were doing that for a little bit. We were getting burnt out because of the high demand there. And then I started doing some life coaching and personal coaching. Though that is good for everybody, it was a lot. It took a toll, especially with my daughter growing up and being in high school. Then I had my family, and then it was just a lot. So yeah, but I've been having my daughter all the way, and my daughter has two kids, so my grandbabies. My grandson, he has,
Congratulations.
thank you. My grandson, he'll be 8, he has been really rocking with me. So I used to go, when I would go to events when he was little, about 2, I would put the backpack on his back. he would go with me and sit there with me. Now my granddaughter now has shifted. So guess what? She does that. So everybody, so those two really get into it, and they sit with grandma and they grind whatever I need them to do, and they're there for me. So
That's
they've been with
beautiful.
me.
It's a
Yeah.
family affair.
It is. It is. It truly is. But it's so cute to see how when I go to events now, they're always like, well, especially my granddaughter. She's like, "Well, Mama, can I go with? I'm going with you. I got my backpack ready. I got my snacks ready. We got money so I can get something to eat." I'm like, "Yes,
Oh my
baby."
goodness.
And so she's off and going. And if I need her to help, she's like, "Okay, I'll help." And then I, of course, pay them. But yeah, so that
That is
everybody
beautiful.
they've been in here rocking it with me. I have to say, it's too
I
cute.
love it. I love it. You you clearly have been doing this for yourself and other women. Can you share some advice for how other women can learn from this? What can they get from this as far as how they can show up in
Right.
creating that life and perhaps working with a vision board, some tips or guidance around it?
Yes. My first and foremost piece, I wanted the first advice, and I want everybody to lean into this. This is your journey. Stay focused on your journey. I just had a conversation with one of my team members. She was so frazzled. And I'm like, well, so to change the subject a little bit, I said, what do you want to do? She says, I don't know. I said, okay. So now that showed me that she was so intuitive to everybody else's dreams and goals, and she lost herself.
Mhm.
So if this is you, I want you to at least, and I have challenged her to take at least 5 minutes a day and sit there and sit with herself and see what does she want to do, whatever she want to do. May it be working up the corporate ladder or being in her own business.
Mm,
So that's, I think that's important, because we as women, again, we're out here being that shiro, and we're taking on everything that sometimes we forget what we want, right? And so we lose focus. But take time for yourself and sit in a quiet place. And I say that because my husband laughs at me. He's like, "How do you ride in the car with no music on?" I go, It's easy. I can be by myself, and I'm in there talking, having a good old conversation with myself, but also know that I've taken that time and listening to and knowing and seeing what I want to do. So that's one. Two, when you have started look and enjoying it, get out here and be by yourself and enjoying what you like to do. The other task challenge that I've offered the young lady, I'm like, go to the movies by yourself. She's like, "Oh my God, Miss Pam, I can't." I go, "I've done it. You can do it too." But knowing that you can sit in those spaces by yourself without anybody with ease is the next piece. And
mhm,
then two, use your vision boards. I love vision boards. Now, I take it a little step further, and it's just because it's just me. Um, I do my vision boards, I break it down into 30-day, and this is another reason why I have so many. So my vision boards are 30-day goals, right? And so
wow.
in each platform or each piece of the business that I have has their own 30-day goal. And then I take it from there and start creating my SMART goals. So another piece that I would like to leave everybody with is, don't think of the big project, right? Because if you think of the big overall goal, you're going to drown. And actually statistics have shown you are going to 80% fail because the big goal overwhelms you. So then that's when I'm like, okay, let's start working on the small goal. Break this big goal down into small chunks and work on those 30-day goals every month and create a new vision board. So working on yourself every day for 30 minutes is one. Then two, challenging yourself, get to know who you really are. And no matter what age or what stage we are at, we always can get to know ourselves better. And then three, get out here and set your goal, 30-day goal. May it be going out here learning a language, or may it
Mm,
be that you're sitting in corporate and you want to go up to the next level. Find out what you need to do. And actually, I've incorporated the last six board is incorporating it into my job, because there are some incentives that I want. So I'm like, okay, let's put the incentives in the middle, and how do I get to them? And so I do that to make it, I can now think about it and it's not overwhelming versus when I was doing the overwhelming, it was just, I was just lost in the sauce. And I told my
Right.
supervisor, I was so lost because you want me to do this, but now that I have the small goal, it's starting to work out. And she even said she's starting to see the change. So creating them small goals allows you to become more productive.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Yeah. And I can see how basically bringing in the scope allows you to hone in and really start hitting those targets.
Absolutely. And it makes you and think, and when lastly, this is the last piece, is when you hit your goal, you celebrate yourself. Maybe you go get some ice, right? Go get you some ice cream, go get you a little massage, or even I love to walk. So I'm always going to like, okay, maybe I'll get me a new pair of tennis shoes for this goal. But do something to celebrate because we forget to celebrate ourselves as well.
I think that's important. Say that again. Celebrate yourself.
Absolutely. At the top of the roof, at the
Yes.
top of the mountains, celebrate yourselves and
Celebrate.
tell everybody, tell your tribe. You know, I always tell them I have actually have an amazing friend that we keep each other accountable. So when we meet, so when we reach our goals, we're always celebrating each other. Maybe look, she's into makeup, so she's always giving me makeup or perfume or something. And then she loves flowers, so I'm always taking her big bouquet of flowers that are bright, beautiful, and things like that. But celebrate and let
Yeah.
people celebrate with you. And yeah, gotta celebrate each other. That's the fun part.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It
Like
is.
it gives you
It
more
is.
reasons to try to win.
Absolutely. And actually it makes it more, you know, you're more energized, right? And then you get more excited. And then you can bring more people in, you know, they'll see like, well, why are you so, and then you get to start sharing your story.
Right. Right. So how
Yeah.
long have you been doing this? I shouldn't say
Ooh.
this. How long have you been doing this?
So I have really, this part of this journey, I would say I've really started honing in on it. It's been about, I'll say about 4 years.
Okay.
For the last 4 years, I've really been getting in tuned on what I'm gonna, what's coming, what can come with me and what can't, and things like that. And also, like I said, creating, understanding what boundaries are and how to really use them to my benefit, and
Nice.
also to those around me to understand what boundaries are. So I say in the last 4 years, I really started getting honing in. But as in starting this all out, it's probably been about 15 years. I started out 15 years ago, and I just been learning on the way what I like, what I don't like, what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do, who I'm going to work with, and who I am not going to work with, and all that. So yeah.
Something and part of that is learning you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's so important for you to take the time to be with you and know what you're willing to accept and what you're willing not to accept, and be okay with the not accepting list, and it's okay.
What would you say in those 15 years or even in the last 4 years, especially with your focus of visioning and making vision boards? What was the biggest thing you saw come out of that, like manifest, that you put your energy into and you put down?
So on my vision board, I have to give you a story real quick. On my vision board that's dated back in 2020, I had no clue, but it's on there at the bottom in the corner, so little, it says Vision Media. I didn't even know what that meant. I had no clue because back then I was just, I the magazine's only 3 years old and the podcast is only 2 years old. So back then I didn't even know what media was. And I have to say, um, the media, it's just all about where does the other forces in the world, where do they see me and how do they see the energy, has really just shifted that part. And funny enough, so every time I'm doing vision boards or I'm talking about how vision boards can play in people's life, I'm always taking that board with me because it has the significance of 2020. I had no clue. And then Vision Media is on there, and look where I'm at.
Right, right. Nice. I think it's cool when we can see the things, the seeds and we've planted, and we can see the things we pour our energy into
Yes.
come
Yes.
to life.
Absolutely. So important. So important.
Wow. So before I let you share how people can reach you and what you may have for them, I have to ask you
Sure.
if you would like a message, and then I will let you share
Okay.
where people can find you and learn more.
Yes, I'm all about girl, you're talking to the wrong one. You should have said that before we got on here. I'd be like, yeah, girl, I need all I believe in taking all um the right message and the positive messages and feeding them into, and then I'll be later on thinking about, okay, what did they mean, and how am I going to fit that into my, I'm always like that. But yes, I would
Okay.
love a message from you. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I will prepare that for you. And in the
Okay.
meantime, why don't you share with those who are viewing this, listening to this, how they can find you, connect with you, and anything else that you would really want them to know about you and what you do and how you might be able to help them become sheroes in their own lives.
Absolutely. So one, you can connect with me. I am on practically all the social media platforms. You can find me under Pamela Stone, or you can find me under Vision Made Media. And then if you want to just drop me a line, like as I said, some of us seasoned women don't care about the social media. You can drop me a line at visions VISIONS made LLC at gmail.com. And if you just put in the subject line, hey girl, I'll know who it is. Because that will stick out so much. Um, so yeah, I would love to hear from everybody. And I just want to leave this with everyone. We all are here for a purpose, and we are all here for our own. There's a purpose we all each have. Get in tune with that
Mm.
and be focused on that, and sit down and find your tribe. I promise you, if you have the right tribe, they will get you to where you need to get to. But don't be absorbed with everyone else's dreams and goals. We all have them. Just start being in tune to yourself
Yeah,
and be focused on yourself. I can say I was there. I promise you I was there.
wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I jotted down just a few things.
Okay.
What's funny, the first word, sometimes words just drop in. The first couple words I got
Yes.
was starship and then anchor. And I just
Ooh,
wanted to drop those because I didn't get what starship meant, but then I thought about, when you take it, when you're about to take off and you're around and you're surrounded by the power, the beauty, the glory, that is our universe.
yeah.
And that you being a part of that. But then anchor, that you're still grounded. And those are the two words that dropped in. And then I also got the message that you may be holding on to one thing in all of your projects and in your passion projects, one thing that you're still doing that you are not actually very passionate about any longer. And once you release that, and that's going to be, they said that one of those hard listenings,
Yes.
once you release that, it's going to open you up to be able to do more of the things that you really do love.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that your work life and what you're doing with your work in your corporate world and this work in later 2024 are going to start coming more in line. You're going to be able to start incorporating
Mm,
this kind of thing more there and be seen because they're going to see results from what you're doing. And people are going to
okay.
start asking how. And you will be able to start saying, this is how. Because what you're doing is very much aligned with making successful projects happen. And when people can get in alignment with their vision in the corporate world as well, businesses succeed. And so just look for those openings
Yes.
in conversation to bring those two worlds together.
Okay. I definitely will.
Yes.
Thank you. I can really honestly say there is a piece of the business that I love, but it can move to the side. And so I totally already know what it is. I already know. I've been,
Okay,
I do it, but not as much as I used to be, the love of it and being cheering for it, but I know what it is. I
good.
do. Thank
I'm glad
you.
you already know. You don't have to go
I
circling the brain.
no, ma'am, I do know what it is.
Wonderful. And it's going to be good. Starship and Anchor. Just,
Oh, I love those
yeah,
words. I
hold on
love
to
it.
them.
That's what I was writing down when you were telling me. So that's what I was doing over here is writing them down. So
Wonderful.
I'm really excited about those. Thank you so much for sharing this message with me.
You are very welcome. And thank you for being on that Shiro Life. I'm so excited that you joined me and you shared some important lessons about showing up and actually focusing and narrowing, honing in on something and making it small enough that you can actually feel successful in doing it.
Right.
So thank
Absolutely.
I'm going to take this to heart myself and see how I can apply it in my life. And hopefully the people who see this and hear this, these women, can apply it in their lives as well. So thank you so much, Pamela, for joining me. Thank you, everyone who sees this. If you do and you like it, please share it. Hit like and follow this show, That's Your Life. I appreciate you. I love you. We need you. Take care.